But it's so weird, isn't it?
I know, it's going to take some getting used to. Totally glad that we volunteered for ours to be one of the first ones of the day. Hi, everybody.
I was the first one. Hi, everyone. I'm just like, I literally look like I'm being antisocial on my phone. I'm checking Discord.
You need a disclaimer.
Yeah, and I know. We're going to open up the questions for people to put in their confessions about being a collector, like things they've done, but we'll talk about ours, and if you get any inspiration of things you want to share, feel free to write it in there as well. Also, if you've got any cool like collectory things that you want to just share, or any questions for either of us, because we're open to them. We're here for the next 50 minutes.
Is this in Britannia stage chat for questions, or is it separate?
Britannia stage questions. I don't know if
Britannia stage questions. Let me have a look.
So you'll see that
I see it. I see it.
Up now.
Yep, it's
also, I'm tied to my laptop now, so I'm sorry if you see me go searching. It means I have lost my headset.
I can go as far as this lead lets me to go.
Mine are general normal headphones. So hi, welcome to Collector Confessions. You've got me, Bexi.
And I'm Amlaur. Hi.
We are both collectors. We collect anything MLP pretty much. But yeah. kind of honing it back a lot. I am, because of space. But it still doesn't stop me half the time. We're here to talk to you about, like, I've got no pictures of my collection because I moved recently. I moved the week before UK PonyCon last year, and then I bought more, and then they're just still in boxes in a storage unit.
I have got my pictures. I had to trawl through all my Facebook pictures yesterday to find them. This didn't go well several times, but I've got about 10 to 20 pictures that I can show you of how things were displayed. I say were because for anybody who does know me, I have had a little boy. He's 7 months old now, and what was my pony room will be his nursery. That's where I'm sitting right now. So most of my collection has gone into storage.
Worth it though.
Yeah, he's worth it. I love him more than ponies. There you go. It's on record.
Do you want to start off talking through your collection?
Okay, so do you want me to do pictures now? Have we got people here to view pictures?
Yeah, people. We can talk about things whilst you show your pictures.
I have no idea who's watching. If we know.
No, we people are. There's
yeah.
Baggins Lover says, "Love your hat" to you, Amy.
Ah, lovely. Oh, so yeah, I need to look in the stage chat as well.
That's fine. I'll keep my eye on the stage chat if you want to get up your.
Okay, I'm going to get my pictures.
This is also just a really laid back, like chill talking session. Aim is kind of to be like, if you were at UK PonyCon and you were with all your friends, you can just talk about ponies and talk about whatever, and not have people who don't get ponies go. You have those conversations and you get really excited, like, I bought this today, and then people are like, so yeah.
Taking me a moment to work out what I'm doing. I thought I did know, but apparently not. Right, okay, there we go. Right, that's there now. And if I go back into here, I will, where is share my screen? Can you see share your screen on our chat, Bexi?
No.
No.
Sorry.
It seems to be a bit different to normal. We're running through Zoom, so
we'll talk about my pride and joy of my collection whilst you're sorting.
Sounds good.
My pride and joy, everyone's always got like one, their grail. Mine has always been
share my screen. There it is.
Oakley I got as a birthday present last year, and he is amazing. I love mooses, meese, however you say it. And yes, as soon as I saw him, I knew I had to have him. Oh, your screen is.
Oh. So, if I go here, I should be able to do it as a little slideshow, which I'm going to pause as I go along. I know there's probably a more technical way to do this, but hey.
That is completely fine.
Like I said, I've only got a few pictures that I managed to find. I'm not very organised with my photographs. There was some others I wanted to find. But my collecting started back in 2014. It started with a small TY rainbow dash that my friends gave me for Christmas in 2013. This progressed to a shop around Tesco's where I picked up a rainbow dash. I think it was the Rainbow Collection. You can see them in the picture just here, the Rainbow Collection, which progressed to, oh, I've got to have all of those now. Which progressed to, I've got to have all these TYs now. And then so I got to know more collectors, and I got to know a collector who he'd sold me quite a few of my ponies, and he asked me if I could help him vend at UK PonyCon in I think it was 2014. Yep, let me think. 2014 I vended, 2015 I was a VIP, 2016 I volunteered, 2017 I was on committee. Yep, that does work. So yeah, UK PonyCon 2014. Yep.
I met you. I remember meeting you there.
Yeah, I was dressed as Rainbow Dash.
I was buying so much stuff from myself.
So yeah, going to UK PonyCon, obviously we've got all the gens, and I thought, oh, I'm going to get out my my G1 ponies from when I was a child, which are still in. I should have got that box. That would be fun to show you. I might have to dash off and go. It's an old nappy box that's covered in my little pony stickers that's got my childhood ponies in. And I was like, well, I'm just going to buy the ones that, you know, complete the sets, like where there's families and I haven't got the babies or the daddies or the mummies. And as Bexi probably know, it escalates from there.
Yes. I started with wanting the moose. I could not afford the moose. So I bought the giraffe.
The moose is expensive.
So I bought the giraffe, and then I bought the camel, and then I decided I wanted all the friends. And then I realised, oh no, I'd chosen a relatively expensive one. Well, like not the most expensive one, but a relatively expensive one to try and get everyone.
Oh,
I had my moose, and luckily the moose was was a present. So you know.
I'm so glad you have the moose now.
Oh my gosh, I cried.
Yeah,
like I genuinely cried when it happened because I've been watching them on eBay, and when I first started wanting the moose, it was when I was a student, and so like, and when I say the moose, I mean Oakley, and so it started when I was a student, and I just didn't have the spare money because you know, rent as a student in halls was crazy, and then prices went up and up as I wanted him more, and I was like, oh, and then the day of my birthday, which incidentally was at UK PonyCon, but there was no Oakleys. He was relatively decent on eBay price-wise, so we got him, and then he came, and then he also came with a really nice customs fee. It is very expensive moose, but very well loved. I will try not to mention Oakley again during this. I'm really sorry. I just really love it. Like every collector's got a pony they're passionate about, and my two that I could really go on about is Oakley and Ivy from G2.
Oh,
so those are my two favourites.
So this picture here is what my collection looked like in the very early days, just taking over a corner of my living room.
Amy.
Yeah.
All I'm seeing is the folder with your pony collections in, not the slideshow.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've only just realised that now with it being brought to my attention.
Ah, okay. You are screen sharing, it says. Stop share. So you're not seeing what I'm seeing. That's interesting.
Yes.
Sorry,
I wasn't. My screen anyway just looks completely different to how everyone.
I'm gonna stop share and try again.
Ooh. Big again. That's really creepy. Sorry, everyone's gonna be sick of my face.
Start screen.
I just saw myself actually pull that.
Maybe I can't do a screen show. Maybe what happens if I just click and open it? Can you see that? Or is it still all the small pictures?
It's still all the small pictures.
Oh, wow, that's problematic. I might not be able to do this then.
We can just talk.
Yeah.
We can just talk collections and stuff.
Let me. Yep.
I'm about to say if you.
Oh, hello.
Oh, is someone?
I've just got a little technical help call. One moment.
No worries. I can hear the call as well.
Right, okie dokie. I got that. Let's try again. Last try, and then we'll give up and we'll just talk. So, if I just do share screen, what do you see now?
Yay, big picture. And also, I don't know, is that Mr. Bean?
It is Mr. Bean. Yeah, I wondered if anyone would notice what I was watching when I took that picture. No, so if I change what's on my screen, can you see?
Yeah, this is photos.
Right.
Explore, edit, and create.
So
not fonts. I can also see loads of cats.
Yes. So now if we go back to here, I can probably do it as a proper slideshow and it should work. Slideshow.
Yay!
Woohoo! Oh, okay. I've gone on to the next picture, which I didn't quite mean to do, but never mind. So, yeah, that small corner grew.
It breeds.
Yes, to a point where, like, I mean, this is all, like I said, I started off with just G4, and this stuff was all around my house in various places. And one day I decided to just make this massive display. It took me about half a day. It was fun, though. I don't think my husband was impressed, but I'm sure he was probably contemplating how much money had been spent at this point. So let's go on from there. What have I got it on? Next. So that there is probably a familiar sight to any G1 collectors, the Dream Castle, which was the original play set from G1. So that's how I had it set up in the early days with just a few ponies. I can see already there that there are ones that I brought that weren't a complete set, so I just brought them because I like them.
Yeah, because that's you go, right, I'm only buying X, Y, and Z, and then you see another one you like.
Yeah. Ooh. I do miss that display I had of the G4 fashion ponies. That was cool. I did like that. They're all in. They've been in a box for a while now. Bless them.
I think mine are in a box. I feel really bad. I visited my storage unit yesterday, and I just saw, because I've got stuff that, like, for charity, and I need to move later on after the move. But all at the back is the stuff I really want to keep, and I just saw them through the clear boxes, and I was like, oh, I'm sorry.
You just see ponies like up against the plastic, like.
Yeah. Oh, and especially plushies, when you vacuum, like when you put plushies in the vacuum bag, and
I've never tried that. Oh, bless them.
It's an experience, and it's really crazy because you have to like push them to force it down. It's like, I'm so sorry, I just need space. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, I'm not quite sure what order these were supposed to be in. I've kind of roughly decided what they looked like. Even this unit has gone now. This was a great unit for displaying ponies on because it had all the different sizes of shelving space and things, but it's gone. That's gone now. But
my shelves, I don't have a picture. So my current ones, because I've got a pony room, which is also /office/makeup room. So I've essentially got 2 bookcases full of ponies, even though ponies are all over the house as well. So I've got basic IKEA shelves, which
Billy bookcases.
Yes, those ones. Which we actually had to pick up on the way back from 2018 in Nottingham because I bought too many ponies, and I was like, well, we've got a van, let's go and get me some new bookcases. So that's where I straight had to go and buy them. And then they looked really messy because I didn't have any stackers. And I was like, I need some stackers to be able to see them because they are quite deep shelves. And I was walking around Wilko's and I saw can stackers. you know, the ones that you meant to put in your like kitchen, and 2 Wilko's can stackers fits most pony, like fits side by side neatly straight into a Billy bookcase, and then they fit 3 tiers of ponies. So
I'm going to remember that when I can have a pony room again.
Like, they're not the most aesthetically pleasing. Like, if I had time, I would cover them. But also they're grippy, so ponies don't fall off.
I mean, I improvised with all sorts of things. If you collect the CCG, and they came in those little boxes, those made good stackers as well, and the tins and things like that. I even at one point discovered that I think I dyed my hair at some point, and the hair dye boxes, they are a good size as well.
Oh my god.
The things we use, eh?
Like when I was at uni, because like even though I had my collection at my parents', I still wanted a like extra collection at uni. I used DVDs, and then like who watches DVDs when you have like Netflix and stuff? So you just end up being like, oh, this is a cheap thing, and just they make good stackers too.
Yeah, there are many things that you can use to display your ponies without spending a fortune, I think is the take-home message there. So this is you can see my cat's tree post in the corner there, because my cat shared my pony room. One of my cats. Let's see. So this is how I display my mint on card and mint in package G4s. My walls are still full of little a lot of the drawing pins I haven't taken down yet. But yeah, they've all I had these displayed in order of release.
Oh wow.
As they went round the room, roughly. So yeah, that's how I did it personally. I don't know how much of a mint on card collector you are, Bexi. Do you?
I've got.
Do you release or do you keep?
It depends. Like G4s, a lot of them for space reasons I took out, but I kept like first edition. Like someone gifted me a load of the first edition G1. But they were also kept in sunlight, so they're like yellow, and but I'm still just keeping them as they are. I've got quite a few. I've got no mint on card G1s, but G2s I've got so many. I love it. It just reminds me of, because G2 is my favorite gen, and it's a gen I grew up with, and it just reminds me of going to a little independent toy shop that I think still open. I'm not going to drop the name. Yeah, a little independent. I've like. Every so often with my parents, and just being like, oh, this is a new pony, and also going into Woolworths and seeing the big My Little Pony display and Toys R Us, and then saving pocket money for ages to get I can't remember the name of the set from the top of my head, but you know the one I don't know if you know G2 too well, Amy, but there's like
not the gen I know the best.
So there's a park one which has got noises. It's got a giant rainbow on it. It's got a tree house. It's got the creepiest little baby laugh that goes. And I got really, really excited, and I saved up my pocket money, and I bought it just before Christmas. And then my auntie bought me the same one. So I still have both, because I never. It was just a double rainbow thing. I just loved it. But I
did you keep one in its box then?
No. I was like,
you opened them both.
6 or 7.
I would have done the same. I
still got most of the parts of both of them as well. But I also do have a mint in box one, because I didn't realise that I still had my original ones. And then I saw a mint in box one for a good price, and then I was. I
don't think the mint on card G2 stuff hasn't aged as badly as the G1 yet, has it? Do you get the yellowing cards at all? I mean, I know it's not as old, so I don't know whether, but the plastics had changed again by then. So
yeah, I've got one within reach, but I can't go because of this. I did it anyway.
You can see one of my favourite pieces of merch in that picture. My rainbow rocking horse. People might remember me from PonyCon 2016. Riding around the vending hall on this.
Oh yeah. Yeah, these haven't yellowed too badly.
They look pristine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. I don't know, it just the whole thing just reminds me of my childhood, just seeing the iconic rainbow and the blue. So I'm really drawn to G2, like minting packaging and package stuff, whereas G1, I don't know, because I do think, like, please don't hurt me, people, but I do prefer the look of them out of the boxes, just for like storage thing. Like I've got ones in boxes that I've kept, and they just end up staying in boxes and it's hard to display.
Yeah, the play sets in boxes is a bit sad, isn't it? Because it's not like when they're in the plastic, you can actually see the pony. The boxes, they're a bit trickier.
Yeah, and also I'm always scared to put loads of holes in the wall because like we're rented, and I just so I've just got them on a shelf and they're all nice. And the most annoying play set that I have, and it's a G4 one that I've never taken out, and I just love it, is Rarity's Carousel.
Oh yes,
and it still plays its music and stuff, and it's just a beautiful, beautiful play set, but it's just sat on the top of a shelf, and I'm just like, it's too big to show forward, so it has to go. Maybe I might have to sort out my pony room properly over.
I had to do that several times. It got to a point where it wasn't, you'll see, it wasn't really a pony room anymore. It was just kind of like a mess. But I mean, the pictures I've got are when it was at its best generally. So I, like, these were, at this point, I think I had started displaying them roughly in release order. So the top ones were the original, like, years sort of one and two up there. So softs were down here. I've still got my so softs. They're one of the ones that I haven't stored because I love them. You can see the Animal Friends ones down there, which I managed to complete at PonyCon last year.
Why I'm not allowed to go to Amy's house, because they will end up disappearing.
Let's see.
I've got a funny story about my creamsicle. So I ordered creamsicle from, because a lot of them are in America, but I got creamsicle for a really good price, and it was sent via the eBay global shipping when it was relatively new, and I was really excited. It said it had arrived, and I was so excited. And I got home from work, and I had a really, really bad day at work, and I opened it up, and inside was a Steelbook collection DVD, and it was like I was like, what? And then it turns out they mixed my giraffe with someone's Steelbook DVD that's worth like nearly £150, and I was like, okay. But then eBay were just like, well, they just didn't reply to us, so we managed to sort it out, and I managed to get my giraffe. But that was so stressful. It's like,
there's creamsicle.
It just makes me laugh that the person who would have received my giraffe was expecting a massive action movie rare edition steelbook from America, and then he put it up and got a giraffe.
He was probably like, what?
Yeah, like who bought this? One like me. We have got some confessions coming in.
Oh, excellent.
So we
what have we got?
Used I can't say that, but use cigarette boxes to display ponies on shelves. Honestly, anything. If pony can stand, you can use anything, really. Morgan asks, how long did they take to organise, Amy?
When I get into it, it will take up like half a day to a day. Because as well, if I haven't like moved them around for a bit, I need to do dusting and putting back, and
dusting is the worst.
It takes a lot of time. It's a lot of maintenance, which I was never any good at because I hate dusting. You're better off if you'll see in my pictures later on, I've got some in cabinets as well. If you've got the really rare ones, put them in cabinets.
And a follow-on question is, how do you keep all this stuff clean? And like my display cabinets back at my parents' house, which have still incidentally got ponies in, I think, or it's got my dad's collection in now. But it was great having cupboards with glass doors, because then you can see them, but you don't need to dust as much. But But here, as I said, I've got Billy bookcases, but you can buy glass doors for them. I just haven't yet.
This is how I keep mine clean. It's a dusting mitt.
That's great.
Yep. I can actually plug for my sister-in-law's company that she works for. It's a Norwex one, but these are great because you can just sort of hold the pony and run it all over it through its hair, and then you just stick it out the window and give it a good bang against the wall and gets all the dust out instead of spreading it round.
The mitt, not the pony. I don't recommend banging ponies outside.
Yeah, the mitt, not the pony.
I've just got a vision of like, when they used to go and hit the carpets outside, just someone doing that with a pony.
Just like someone's going to draw Britannia like hanging over a washing line now. Like, oh dear.
Zephyr's also done a confession of, despite collecting vintage Hot Wheels as a true 22-year-old male, my pony collection completely dwarfs them.
Excellent.
That's good.
That's what we like to hear.
Yeah. Ponies are just amazing. Like, I end up collecting so many things. If I get really into an anime, I'll just collect all that stuff. But then when I'm over that, I'm completely over that. You're never over ponies. No matter what you do, you're like, right, I'm gonna have a pony ban, and then you like announce it to everyone, be like, I'm not buying a pony. I'm not buying ponies for a while. Being good. I'm not buying ponies for a while. You announce it to everyone, and then you are making sure to get to the mail first to just like hide. Just like, that is why I recommend having your collection like condensed and looking big. So if you do like buy anything extra, you can just and then be like, hey, it's all there all along.
Oh dear.
That has happened far too many times.
There's not much going on in this picture. It's just another how things were looking. I had my big My Little Pony movie thing. I can't remember where I picked that up from. I know I've got 2 of them. I can't remember where I got them from. Some shop. Never be afraid to go and ask the people in the shops for display stuff. Yeah, they probably think you're weird, but most of them are nice and will just be like, yeah, I'll put that aside for you. If you don't ask, you don't get.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I know I've got some somewhere in my parents' garage, like all covered up, so it's not going.
Well, I can show that. That's the Specsavers Rainbow Dash. Big cardboard cutout.
Oh.
Yeah.
I know I've gotten a load of like the display boxes as well. When they did the little cutie mark ones, I was like, hi, I'm buying the rest of these. Can I have the box as well, which came with 2 figures? And I've done that with Fashions too. They're somewhere in my parents' house.
Fashions, they are so difficult to display.
I've got the box, but the box is awkward, but it's got one in a little pod, so I'm like, okay, the rest of the Fashions can live their little lives in their little pods so they don't get dusty, because I don't
that material is just awful.
But like, also I know I'm going to buy more Fashions because they've released a Yona one, and yeah, I need a Yona one.
This is when my room started to look a bit more like a toy shop.
That is epic.
But yeah, these shelves here are really cool. This was when B&Q had a sale on these, and they alternate their blue and pink, so they just fit in a pony room so great. Those I haven't got rid of. They're still here because they'll work as being in Luke's nursery.
Yeah.
But, yeah, my dad actually gave me the idea of putting all my castles across the top, which is really funny because he's not into pony at all, obviously, but he sort of looked at it and he was like, you could put all the castles up there and it'll be like, like a sort of Disney castle thing going on. It's like, yeah, like I said, he doesn't get ponies, but it did look cool. I've got the lavender castle up on the left there, which is a later edition of the dream castle. It's a bit rarer. Those, yeah, they haven't gone into storage quite yet, but they will have to, sadly. What have we got here? I think you've pretty much seen that one already. But like, yeah, I have my sea ponies here. I love my nursery. It's full of babies.
That's so cute.
The nursery is really cute. Plush corner. Had this. You see the big G3s on the top, just all like piled on top of each other.
Yeah.
And TY Rainbow Dash is wearing a umbrella hat.
Like plushies are one of the best items in My Little Pony, be it like the stock ones or custom made. But then it gets to a case of, where do I put these?
Yeah.
Because you just like I probably have enough plushies like within my storage unit, my parents' house, my house here, to be able to just have a giant plushie pile and just like throw myself and sleep on them all the time. And it's just space. So I am guilty of a lot of mine are vacuum packed. And it doesn't affect them too much. Just make sure you like air them out every like 3 or so months. Just like open it up, air, and then back. There's a
pro tip.
Yeah, if they've got labels though, don't put them in a vacuum. Like if they've got like tags that you don't want to ruin, don't put them in a vacuum bag.
Label will get smushed. Oh.
So Amy, would you say that even though you've started collecting other gens, you're still more of a G4 collector, or is it just that you've got
no, I would
collecting it earlier?
I've really just turned into all gens. Except to say G2. I have got G2s, but I don't actively collect them. I just buy the ones I like. I leave them all there for you, Bex. I leave them for you.
People can't see me, but I'm shaking my head in disappointment.
Yeah. There's Paradise Estate. This is the biggest G1 playset. I needed to buy that table specifically for it. The table is probably about 1.5 meters long, to give you some perspective as how big the Paradise Estate is. That is it. And there it looks. That's what it looks like without its roof on. Paradise
Estate is in. I feel like literally. I feel bad just saying, "Oh yeah, it's at my parents," but a lot is. I'm just only realizing how much is there now. And my Paradise Estate is in probably about 4 or 5 of those giant reusable bags. You know, like
that's what's happened to mine now.
I'm not talking about like the plastic, you know, the thin ones from like Asda. I'm talking about like the really big, heavy weight ones. It's in about 4 or 5 of them, and there
is a box that fits it if you need to store it. It's an IKEA one. I can't remember what it's called, but I ended up just storing it in a few different boxes.
Yeah. Also, the roof is really, really yellow in mine.
Mine wasn't. If I go back one,
I don't know whether it's like a massive confession, but I'm thinking I might respray it, which might cause people to be like, "Oh no!" But it is very. I'm being serious. It is very, very yellow.
You do what you want to do with it. If you're not going to resell it, if it's yours, it's something you want to keep, which is how I feel about mine.
I've got nowhere to put it.
It took me so long to get Paradise Estate that unless like I get to a point where I think I'm never ever going to be able to display this again, I will not get rid of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not too discoloured mine, but it did have a couple of cracks in it.
I think mine's missing quite a few bits. But they're always on my list when I go to like PonyCon, because it's nice finding the accessories for them at PonyCon, because then you're not having to pay like an extra £3 or £4 on top with shipping. But I always forget, because I always get overwhelmed by ponies. I'm like, I want more ponies, not completion of items I don't have with me physically.
I'm not good with accessories. I think I had everything in my Paradise Estate, except maybe, I can't remember if it's Paradise Estate or I know Dream Castle had got the little goblets. I can't remember whether Paradise Estate did as well, and whether it was. I know it's one of the rarer accessories to try and find. So that's a close-up of some of the ponies that were in my cabinet. I'm so sad. Some of these I have had to sell because these are Nirvanas. For anyone who doesn't know, they're ponies from other countries that are worth a little bit more money, sometimes a lot more money. But priorities have meant that some of these have gone, but they're there in the picture. I love the little plate there.
Yeah.
And yeah, there it is.
Oh, that's so pretty.
Yeah. There's it ruins the picture a little bit. At the bottom, there's some mint in packet G3s in the bottom that I had nowhere to put them, so they went in there.
Do you know what? That out of all my all my Gen collections and stuff, my G3s are the ones that are just in like the random places, and I feel really, really bad. Like I wish I loved G3 more, but that was those were the years I drifted really out of collecting because I didn't like the change too much, and then I came back with G4.
They are lovely, but there are so many of them, and they are so hard to sort out.
I can't remember the names. Like loads of people can be like, "Oh, this is this
Here
one,
you go." One. There. I thought that was the next picture. That was me attempting to sort out G3s.
A color order, at least.
Yeah, because I was trying to work out which ones I had, which ones I didn't. So I thought if I put them in color order, I'll go through the book. I've got the books here. The book.
Oh God.
Yeah. There's Summer Hayes's books for anyone who doesn't know, but they are very useful for collectors. But yeah, I remember doing this, and I know that I still didn't get through them and catalog them properly. It's so difficult with G3s, and there are so many editions of the same pony as well.
Oh yeah, and unlike G4 is kind of the same as well, but they
G4
usually got like different sort of eyes, whereas G3 have kind of either got a slightly different pose or something. That's why I like
the poses were just subtle differences in them.
The earlier gens.
The later ones had the magnet hooves, the earlier ones didn't. But yeah, they are. I love them. It's not that I don't love them, but they are so hard. I have kept some G3s aside, like some of my ponies that I don't want to go into storage. This is the set that I kept. The ones that have the little messages on the side. I should have checked what they're the 25th anniversary set. So yeah, Rainbow Dash there says Hope, and I think I've got the full set. I think I might be, no, I am missing one. I couldn't tell you off the top of my head which one though. But yeah, that's the only G3s that I've kept.
Kingsley.
So yeah, this is like sort of, if you find that when you start collecting G1s that if you were a G1 collector and you were around in the 80s and 90s, you start collecting other things around that time. This is where I have cut back, like the fairy tale birds. I was like, look, they're lovely, but I have sold the collections of those. I have kept my keeper horse just because she's the closest to ponies. This one over here is a Dream Beauty. Again, I have sold her. They do come actually under, I believe.
Yeah, they
ponies. They are in there in the collector Bible. But this was just a fun little display I made of stuff, and that's what moves on to me doing things like this. This is where you can have fun with your collecting, is making little scenes. I think this was for a Christmas competition.
Yeah, I like taking, like, not at the moment because of going out at the moment. It's a bit but whenever I go somewhere, I always take a G1 or something and just take pictures of the area. I have a Tootsie that has literally travelled the world with me. I just take her everywhere. Oh my God, you've got golden glow. I'm very jealous. I silver glow and copper glow. Sorry, guys.
The G2s that I have, they're good ones.
Yeah.
I think I got all the gens in there. There's even a little 3.5 down there.
Yeah.
When you get snow, it's fun to go out and take these pictures. And all their little Christmas hats. Yeah. Same there. I actually went into the woods to take that picture. There's Oakley. Moose.
I love the moose.
That is a picture of Con Swag. So yeah, that was after PonyCon 2016. You have to do Con Swag pictures.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
I didn't buy much at Bristol because it was my first year as events lead, so I was just more running around going but then Nottingham, because I was like pretty chill, and it was on my birthday, so I ended up with birthday money, and that was there's nothing like going through people's bait bins, finding like one that you can just clean up, and I love it so much. Yeah.
I'm terrible at taking the time to do clean-up projects. I always think I'm going to.
Me too. I just kind of have them at the back of my shelf.
This picture shows how lovely and understanding my husband is. That he lets us have G1 bedding, because yes, this is our bed.
Yeah, we've like, I'm very lucky that my boyfriend is into ponies as well, so
yeah,
they're just like I have sea ponies in the downstairs bathroom. I also have another certain named G1 in there, but I'm not going to say it. But if you know G1s, it's quite a funny one. PM me if you really, really want to know. But I just, it's nothing too bad. I just don't want to say it.
And this is from our wedding. That is my bouquet that I had specially made.
That's gorgeous.
Yeah. So there were a few pony things about. The tables were named after ponies.
Oh.
Yeah. I love my husband. He's so good.
And I think you should say that your husband isn't a brony, whereas my boyfriend is a brony, so it kind of makes sense.
Yep. But my husband is not a brony. He appreciates the early episodes of Friendship is Magic, like when it was more slapstick humor. When it started to get more in depth, he was like, he's not into it. But yeah, he's not at all. He is just, he loves me. He must do. And that's my final one. That's just me when I had a photo shoot and I was like, I'm taking ponies, which the photographer absolutely loved. He was like, oh, this is amazing. So I just selected a few of my favorites and brought them along.
Oh,
yeah, that's my photos.
We've got some questions. Oh, I just dropped my headset again. Have you ever lied about how much you paid for an item as you're embarrassed to admit for price? Not embarrassed. I'm always like, yeah, I paid this much. But sometimes when you're on a pony ban, or if you've got a budget and you see the one that you really like one that you've been after but you weren't aiming for because you didn't think you could afford it, but then you realize you can afford it, but you're like, no, I need to be good, I'm saving for a holiday or something. I've been like, oh yeah, I got it for a tenner. There's like ponies that I'm like, oh yeah, I got it for a tenner. Or like, you do lessen the blow. What was really the most dangerous part of me for my collecting was, so before I went to uni, I lived with my parents, and having that judgmental look, like my dad collects things, my mum collects things, so we all collect things in my family, so they understand it. But when it got to a parcel a day, it was a judgment of, and I was like, okay, I can't do this anymore. But then when uni came, it's a dangerous thing.
I had it probably the peak of my collecting. I was having things delivered to work, so not to hide it, but because I knew no one was home. Yeah. There was a point where I had to be away from work for a while for health reasons, and I came back and there was a massive pile of parcels. That was awkward. I had to go into the boot, and that's probably the most shameful thing for me of my collector confessions, is when I realized, when you see it all at once like that, it's like, I've got a problem.
Yeah, especially when you've ordered a load of things, and if they're coming from the States and stuff, you kind of forget about them, and then you order from someone else in the UK and they all come on the same day, and you're like,
yeah,
I know this is spread throughout a few months, but oh wow. But that's the good thing about having a big collection, is that to try and sneak them past, you can just put them on a shelf. But there is all the time you want to be like, I got a new pony. So yes, I have lied about how much they cost, and also my boyfriend will be watching this, so I am not going to be able to pull that trick anymore.
He's probably got some knowledge as well of how much some of them cost. Maybe a little.
Not G1s or G2s, really.
No.
But, so yeah. What would be your perfect display order? Colour, post, alphabetical, by set, gen, or something else? So mine, I always I like having them as separate gens.
Yeah, for sure.
I like them by colour. Mine currently aren't by colour, but I like having them by colour. But then I also have them by sets. So how it usually works is I have all the ones that aren't, or like I've just inhaled a bit of dust. That's better. All the ones that aren't standard. I need some water.
Sets and order release for me.
Well, like the ones that are standard ponies that aren't like special, like Twinkle Eye or So Softs, they all go in like a colour order one. But if they've got something special, they go in their sets. Pride of Place is my pony friends. How did I forget the name of my favourite? So yeah, my G2s, they're all by colour. G3s are all by colour, and G4s are by character. Because there's so many re-releases. Like actually, to be fair, the majority of my G2 Ivy Shrine is at my parents', but if I were to bring it over here, I'd probably be able to fill a solid half a Billy bookcase, which I know isn't too an impressive Ivy collection, but I have got a lot.
No, Ivy's quite small, so to take up half a Billy bookcase.
I've got so many of the same ones of her, and I have an Ivy problem just because I see them and like I just need to adopt them when they're in really bad shape. So when I went to BronyCon last year, so in the UK and Europe, we had a longer release of G2s than the US, so they are more expensive in the US. And we went to BronyCon, and they had some old like multi-gen stalls, and I just found this really, really sad, coloured in ivy, missing its hair, magic motion doesn't work, and I was like, oh my god, she needs a home. And I was like, oh, how much is she? And it was like $10, and I was like, oh, I wouldn't pay this in the UK, but take my money. Just because I felt so bad for her. But to be fair, if I'd seen her at like PonyCon or at a Comic-Con, I would have probably paid about £10 anyway, because I feel really bad for them. Confession, I am moving in with my partner soon, and one of the things I had to let them agree on was letting me use the second bedroom for my pony collection. Same. And when I moved in with my boyfriend, it was, if you get the spare room, will you condense all your ponies in there? Yeah, it didn't happen. We have I'm staring at loads in the living room as we speak. But yeah, pony rooms are nice. It's really nice when you have a partner that understands as well. Because
one of my when we hopefully can move to a bigger house, one of my stipulations is going to be that there is a room for my ponies again. It's like I would quite like an attic room or a basement room for them. That would be my dream, but just somewhere where I can put them on display again.
Bangs Lover said, don't spray it, fade it. That's a good idea. I might try and fade it. I might just message my dad and be like, can you fade this for me? Just plonk it in the garden. That's a good idea. Amlaur, how long have you collected? You said 2014, did you say? That's
right. Yeah. So it's quite incredible that in just 6 years I've acquired as much stuff as I have. Yeah, it's quite scary when I think about it that way.
Yeah. I have always had ponies since I was young, because my mum had like some, like an old parasol plushie, which I've still got now. And like she ended up buying it because she thought it was cute back then. And then I had G2s as a kid, and then I had some G1s, like from charity shops. And I really madly collected them. I kind of stuck through it with G3, but I started losing interest. And then, like, when I started going in high school, it was something that people would make fun of me for still having them in my room. Aww. So they got put in the garage. And then my mum, thinking I didn't care about them, gave them to someone else. Like she took my favourites out. So I've still got some of my like childhood ones, but she gave them to someone else. And then I was in Tesco when I was at camp. And I went to Tesco to buy some snacks, and there was a brand new G4 rarity, and I ended up buying that, and then that's how I got back into it all. So yeah. We need to be quick now. We've only got like a few moments. Confession: asking your fiance for money for your mobile phone bill because you really wanted that rather pricey collectible. Oops. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. 100%.
I have borrowed some money for PonyCon last year. I borrowed some money from my brother so I could buy some ponies.
It just happened.
I didn't tell him that was what it was for. I told him that we were having a hard time financially, which was actually truth, because it was while I was pregnant and I didn't have maternity pay yet.
Oh gosh. What is a Billy bookcase? It's just an IKEA bookcase. It's just a really good priced one.
Yeah.
If that helps.
Yeah, if you go into the IKEA website and typed Billy bookcase, you'd see it.
An estimation of how many either of you spent on pony collections? I don't want to know.
I've never, no. I thought about it at one point that I should probably work it out for insurance purposes, but I never actually. The idea scares me too much.
Yeah.
I will confess that I did put myself in debt over it, so that gives you an estimation. Which don't do that, guys. Don't do it. It's not worth it.
They may be cute, but also living is also a thing.
Yes.
Like I think, to be fair, I didn't go out. I'm not really a partier, so at uni I didn't really go out. I'd spend all my what I would spend on a night out on ponies. But now I'm an actual adult. It's like bills.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I think this will be a last question, if I can rush this very, very quickly. Is any stories about prize things? Prize find. My prize find is this one. It's Butterfly Magic, which I think, but she has a dragon cutie mark, which isn't a Butterfly Magic. But she was
that's one of the G2s I want, actually.
She was in a fakey lot, and for £6. But she was in her photo. She was surrounded by a load of fakies, and she was head on like that. And I was like, I know this colour. I'm like, do I risk it? And for £6, I did. I won the items on eBay. And she came and I got her, and I also got a load of really horrific fakies, which are also pretty amazing. So yeah, this is one of my favourite finds. She has had a haircut on her tail, but when you find one of your grails for £6, which usually sell for a lot more, and it's a good bargain, so that made me really, really, really happy.
I have not been lucky with finds. So I haven't got a story for that. I can literally tell you that I never find anything in charity shops. I never find anything good at boot sales. But I probably don't try enough, if I'm fair to myself. I know there are people that will spend a lot of time looking through these places. And if you've got the time to do that, it is worth it. You never know what you're going to find. But no, I've never been lucky in that respect with my collecting, unfortunately.
Yeah, my parents now, whenever they go to car boot sales, they always look for me, or if anyone goes into charity shops and stuff like that, they will look for me. And I've just got so many friends that do look for me, which is I'm very lucky with. That's how I ended up with most of my G3s, but yeah, and a load of fakies. But I genuinely love fakies. I'm doing a fakey talk later because I've literally got the best fakey ever.
Fakey's awesome.
Oh, this one's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. So yeah, that's it. We're just rounding up now. I just double checked to make sure everything was closing off, but we need to finish very, very shortly.
That time went quick.
Yeah, thank you for your time. I hope you just enjoyed just a nice natter with a cup of tea, essentially. Should have been get your cup of tea before you do this. But yes, thank you. I hope you enjoyed, and all panels I'm around for. If you have any questions or anything that you didn't get to answer, feel free to PM either myself or Amy, and we'll be more than happy to talk ponies. If anyone wants to talk Ivy or Oakley, I am full of Ivy and Oakley love, so just message me. All right, thank you, and
bye everybody.
Bye.